Hello everyone. As we have discussed it last time, today we're going to focus on the definition of literature. So, as I gave you the handout last time, I wanted you to look at the various definitions of literature that we have in those handouts. Now, I want you to put them together and so that we can have a summary of them. All right, look at what we have here. Number one, normally, in terms of definition of literature, we're going to have, we realize that there is no consensus actually in terms of defining literature. So look at the board and see what we have as a summary of that, okay? All right, number one, we realize that there is no consensus on or one all-embracing definition of the term literature. Number two, you're going to see that if we can consider literature both on its broad and narrow planes. And in terms of defining literature, Gayasi 1973 defines it in its broad sense as anything that is written. This definition, of course, we know that it's vague and amorphous. It doesn't mean anything. Can we really consider education and history or biology as literature? I don't think so. So Rees in 1973 sees it as, it is a narrow sense of writing which expresses and communicates thoughts, feelings, and attitudes towards life. Moody, 1987, writes that literature springs from our inborn love of telling a story or arranging words in pleasing or patterns of expressing in words some special aspect of our human experience. Bolton again come up with the definition that in 1980 he defines literature from a functional perspective as the imaginative work that gives us ours. And what are those ours? We have recreation, recognition, revelation, and redemption. Rees again come back to sum up after all the debate that literature is a permanent expression in words of some thoughts or feelings in ideas about life and the world. So these are the things that you should realize. Now, the university professors from National Open University of Nigeria, they argue that literature can also imply an artistic use of words for the sake of art alone. That is, art for art's sake. Here, literature, for them, in this definition, literature is not about conveying any message. All right, so you should come up with all of these definitions after you have read. So let's summarize all of what we have said so far. We're going to realize that all of these definitions recognize the fact that literature is imaginative. That's number one. Number two, that literature expresses thoughts and feelings. That literature deals with life experiences. And number four, that literature uses words in a powerful, effective, and yet captivating manner. And number five, that literature promotes recreation and revelation of hidden facts. Now, this is, in other words, that literature is just summed up as permanent expressions in words, written or spoken, specially arranged in pleasing accepted patterns or forms, and that literature expresses thoughts, feelings, ideas, or other special aspects of human experiences, and that literary texts are written out of and about human experience. That is very important. Now, if we look at what Terry Eagleton has observed, is that the dichotomy fact and fiction cannot help us much in defining literature. We all know that many people believe that literature is all about fiction, that the factual things are not part of literature. Well, Terry Eagleton is saying no to this. For him, literature includes factual texts like biography, autobiography, funeral speeches. And he argues that what is specific to a literary language, what distinguishes it from other forms of discourse, is that it deforms ordinary language in various ways. And that is coming from page 3. I want you to pay attention to this. Literature deforms ordinary language, okay? And another thing from him is that literature is a kind of organized violence committed on ordinary speech. It transforms and intensifies ordinary language, deviates systematically from the everyday speech. And this is coming from page 2 of the handout. I want you to pay attention to that. And he continues to argue that the uniqueness of literature finds itself in its peculiar use of language, not in the creative or imaginative aspect of it, or history, philosophy, and the natural sciences uncreative or unimaginative. Of course, the answer is no to this. So I want you to pay attention to these definitions of literature. And I am at the end of this. I want you to look at this assignment that I want you to go through. So you have mainly 3 questions to answer, as you can see it on the slide. Thank you very much for your attention, and I want you to take some few minutes to answer to these questions. Thank you.